Right now, something is happening inside your body that you cannot feel, cannot see, and most doctors won't explain clearly until it becomes a real problem. Your liver, the organ responsible for filtering toxins, processing fat, and keeping your entire system balanced, may already be slowing down. Not because it's failing, but because it's becoming overloaded. After the age of 50, your liver's ability to move waste out of your body begins to decline. And when that flow slows, everything starts to back up. Fat doesn't get processed efficiently. Toxins don't leave when they should. And instead of obvious symptoms, you get subtle changes that are easy to ignore. You wake up feeling tired even after a full night of sleep. Your stomach feels heavier after meals that never used to bother you. You notice bloating that lingers, energy that fades too early in the day, and a mental fog that makes simple tasks feel harder than they should. Most people accept this as aging. They adjust their routines, cut back on activities, and tell themselves this is just how life feels now. But what if that's not true? What if your body isn't breaking down, but simply struggling to keep up because one critical function has slowed to a crawl? And more importantly, what if that function can be supported and improved starting today? You don't notice liver decline the way you notice a sharp pain or a sudden injury. It doesn't demand your attention. It quietly changes how you feel every single day. It shows up as that heavy, uncomfortable sensation after eating, even when the meal wasn't large. It shows up as bloating that lingers longer than it should, making your body feel tight and sluggish. It's the kind of fatigue that hits before noon, where your energy fades faster than it used to, forcing you to slow down whether you want to or not. It's the mental fog that creeps in, making you lose focus, forget small things, and feel older than you actually are. Over time, you begin to adapt. You start avoiding certain foods, skipping activities, and lowering your expectations for how good you're supposed to feel. Not because you've chosen to, but because your body no longer feels like it's working with you. And eventually, this becomes your new normal, even though deep down, something isn't right. Most people believe liver problems come from obvious causes like alcohol, genetics, or serious disease. But for a large number of people over 50, the issue is far less dramatic and far more overlooked. It's not that the liver has stopped working, it's that the internal flow system has slowed down. Your liver produces bile, a fluid that acts like a transport system, carrying fat and waste out of your body. When that system flows properly, toxins are removed efficiently and fat is processed the way it should be. But when that flow slows, even slightly, everything begins to back up. Fat starts to accumulate where it shouldn't. Waste that should be eliminated begins to circulate longer than it should. And over time, that slow buildup creates the exact symptoms people assume are just part of getting older, when in reality, it's a functional problem that can be addressed if you understand what's actually happening inside your body. Your liver is working every minute to process everything that enters your system, from the food you eat to the air you breathe. It filters your blood, breaks down toxins, and packages fat so it can either be used for energy or removed. But none of that matters if the waste it processes cannot leave efficiently. That's where bile comes in. Bile is the fluid your liver produces to carry fat and toxins out through your digestive system. When bile flows properly, your body stays balanced. But when that flow slows even slightly, everything begins to change. Fat starts to accumulate inside liver cells instead of being transported out. Toxins that should be eliminated begin to circulate longer, putting stress on your entire system. Inflammation begins to rise, not suddenly, but gradually, creating a cycle that feeds itself. More fat leads to slower flow leads to more buildup, and more buildup leads to more inflammation. Over time, this cycle becomes the silent driver behind the fatigue, bloating, and discomfort people experience daily. This is why your liver doesn't just need protection from damage. It needs support for movement. It needs consistent help to keep that internal flow active, because without that movement, even a healthy liver can begin to struggle under its own workload. This is the point where most people feel stuck, believing that once these changes begin, there is nothing they can do except accept it as part of aging. But that belief is not accurate. Your liver is one of the most resilient and regenerative organs in your body. It is designed to recover, to repair, and to adapt when given the right conditions. The problem is not that your liver cannot improve. The problem is that it often lacks the specific support it needs to restore proper function. When you begin to provide those missing elements consistently, your body responds not with instant transformation, but with steady, noticeable improvement. Digestion starts to feel lighter. Energy becomes more stable throughout the day. That heavy, sluggish feeling begins to fade. This is a turning point where your body shifts from struggling to keep up to gradually restoring balance, proving that what many people accept as decline can, in many cases, be reversed with the right approach. Now that you understand what's really happening inside your body, the next step is knowing what actually supports your liver in a practical, realistic way, not through hype, but through consistent habits that make a measurable difference over time. Starting from the most basic level, green tea is often recommended because it contains antioxidants that help protect liver cells from damage. And while that protection is real, it does not actively move fat or toxins out, which means it supports your liver, but does not solve the underlying slowdown. Moving slightly further, lemon and ginger water can gently stimulate digestion and help your stomach process food more efficiently, but its direct impact on bile flow and fat movement is still limited, making it helpful but not transformative. Black coffee comes next, and research does show it can reduce inflammation and support long-term liver health, but it must be used carefully because too much caffeine can disrupt sleep and hydration, both of which are essential for proper liver function, especially as you get older. As we move into more targeted support, unsweetened cranberry blends begin to play a different role by helping reduce fat accumulation in liver cells, but only when prepared without added sugars, because excess sugar works against the very process you are trying to improve. Apple cider vinegar, combined with turmeric, starts to address flow more directly, supporting the pathways your body uses to move waste out, but it requires consistency and proper use to be effective. Dandelion root tea takes this a step further by supporting bile production itself, helping your liver activate the process of moving fat and toxins, though it works best when your digestive system is also functioning properly. Bone broth with turmeric brings in a different level of support by providing key amino acids that your liver uses during detoxification, helping your body process and neutralize waste more efficiently, not just move it. And at the highest level, what truly makes the difference is not a single ingredient, but a combination that supports production, movement, and removal together. Because when your body has what it needs across all three stages, that is when real, sustainable change begins to happen, not overnight, but in a way you can feel and measure over time. If you want to see those results, the most important thing is not complexity, but consistency. And that starts with a simple, structured routine you can actually follow every day. Begin with an evening habit that supports your body before digestion begins. using warm, easy to absorb combinations that do not stress your system but gently support it. You can add a secondary supportive drink earlier in the day to reinforce the process, but avoid overwhelming yourself with too many changes at once, because your body responds far better to steady input than sudden overload. Hydration is essential, timing matters, and paying attention to how your body reacts is just as important as what you consume. This is not about chasing quick results, but about creating a pattern your body can rely on. Because when you stay consistent, even small daily actions begin to compound into noticeable improvements that build over time. Most people don't fail because their body can't improve. They fail because they unknowingly slow their own progress. One of the biggest mistakes is expecting immediate results and giving up when they don't see dramatic changes within a few days. Your liver does not respond to urgency. It responds to consistency. Another common mistake is trying to do too much at once, combining multiple drinks, supplements, and dietary changes all at the same time, which overwhelms your system instead of supporting it. Ignoring the basics is another issue. Poor sleep, low hydration, and heavily processed foods can cancel out the benefits of even the best routine. Quality also matters more than people realize. Using low-quality ingredients or products filled with hidden sugars and additives works against your body instead of helping it. And perhaps the most overlooked mistake is inconsistency, starting strong for a few days and then stopping before your body has time to respond. Give your body a fair chance to respond by committing to a simple routine for 30 days, not perfectly, but consistently. Pay attention to how you feel each day, your energy levels, your digestion, your mental clarity, because real progress often shows up in how you feel before it shows up anywhere else. Your body is not broken. It has been adapting to what you've been giving it, and when you begin to support it differently, it responds. You may not notice everything at once, but you will begin to feel lighter, more stable, and more in control. This is not about chasing a quick fix. It's about working with your body in a way that allows it to gradually restore balance. So start today, stay consistent for the next 30 days, and give your body the opportunity to show you what it is capable of when you finally support it the right way. What you've seen today is not a trend, not a shortcut, and not another empty promise. It's a clear understanding of what's actually happening inside your body, why your liver begins to slow down, and what it truly needs to start functioning properly again. When bile flow slows, everything backs up. But when you support that flow with the right habits, your body begins to restore balance step by step. The key is not doing everything at once, but choosing a simple routine and staying consistent long enough to let your body respond. If this video helped you understand your body in a new way, take a moment to save it so you can come back and follow the steps properly. And subscribe to the channel for more straightforward, practical health insights designed to help you take control of your well-being. Your body is not failing. It is waiting for the right support. And when you give it that consistently, real change becomes possible.